During a trip through time, the Legends were forced to land the Waverider in Blue Valley, Nebraska, where they discovered a young superhero.
Yes!
About to take flight.
That's cool.
Who are you?
I'm Stargirl.
You know what? I think our new little intro is actually kind of fun.
It is kind of fun. I really like it, actually.
And now, here are your hosts, the Scarlet Speedster himself, the Flash, and the Maid of Mischief, Harley Quinn.
Hello, Legendaires. Welcome back to tomorrow's Stargirl Legends. That is right. We got inducted into the team. I guess as mentors, Harley? I am not that old yet. Flash.
And I'm definitely young enough to still be on this team, Harley Quinn.
And happy Canada Day to everybody out there, because I am Canadian and I'm up here. So yes, it is Canada Day today. We are celebrating, what are we, 153, I think.
I have no idea how old my country is, but our Independence Day is on Saturday. We're going to do another podcast between now and then. But happy July 4th, and I'm going to say it again in 2 days.
There you go.
And happy Canada Day. Yay.
Now, I got a little fun thing here, and I didn't even tell Harley this. This isn't even in our notes. I have a little game for everybody to play.
Oh.
Within the opening 5 minutes of our last 3 episodes, there has been a mistake this whole time. And I fixed it. It's fixed in this episode. So
I think I know what it is, but I'm not going to say anything.
Well, I was going to let you be part of the game, so you can tell me off microphone, but okay. I just want to see how many people out there, how many of our listeners picked up on what the mistake was, and tell me what we did to fix it or what the fix is.
Okay. I've got to guess. So
okay.
Remind me when we're done.
For sure. All right. So a little bit of news, nothing to do with Legends or the show or anything. I just threw this in our news section. I brought up Dr. Fate last episode because I was saying, how could he just die in a simple fight? He's one of DC's most powerful characters. So I just pulled up a little excerpt from the DC Wiki here to let everyone know in case they don't even know anything about Dr. Fate. And there was a question on their website. It said, how strong is Dr. Fate? Harley's raising her hand. Dr. Fate is one of the most powerful sorcerers on Earth and is matched by almost no one in the art of casting spells. Among his innate mystical abilities, Fate has super strength, the ability to fly, mental powers like telekinesis and telepathy, and he can summon lightning and fire at will. So that's just a little excerpt from the DC Wiki to give you an idea of how powerful he is. He has no equal in his magical abilities. So there's no way a handful of ragtag villains are going to take him down. So that's all. I just had to prove my point.
Maybe he's the janitor.
Maybe.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. And that's the other thing. Let's mention our Patreon as we have been doing. Again, thank you last episode for Patty Spivot for a $5 donation. If you guys would like to get on that bandwagon, we would so appreciate it. This is what you got to do.
If you'd like to support our podcast, you can do so at our Patreon page at www.patreon.com/tomorrowslegends.
All right. Episode 4, Wildcat. What did you think?
What did I think? I thought this was a solid episode. I gave it 7.5 recruitment attempts. Although I guess it was an attempt makes it sound like it wasn't successful, but it was. I thought this was a very interesting episode. I never expected that Yolanda was actually the most popular girl in school until this unfortunate texting incident occurred. So I really enjoyed kind of learning more about her, and then also seeing her and Courtney just try to discover like what her powers are and like how to train her, but without having any idea because they didn't know how the suit worked. They didn't know like what powers it had or what she could do. So I thought I love those sequences. Like I thought that was a lot of fun. And then also we kind of had this like ominous ending. It wasn't really a cliffhanger exactly, but we clearly see Mrs. Zarek's car crushed and her cat's just, wandering around the junkyard that Pat goes to. So I agree. There's something definitely not right about this town for sure.
And we're definitely going to touch on that point when we get to it for sure.
Yeah, we've got way more to talk about on all of this, but that's just like my quick highlights. So what did you think?
I'm giving this a 7 excited teen heroes. Now this one was a fun little mini origin story for the young Wildcat to be. I mean, we're watching a new team get built one by one, and it's full of, especially this episode, it's full of all kind of cuteness and silliness, but it wasn't gagging you with overload of any of that stuff. You could just feel their excitement and giddiness of getting to dress up and be superheroes. I mean, how much fun would that be? I think we all react the same way. What I was happy to see is that Courtney has finally made a friend now, and one that I think is going to be pretty darn solid and lifelong, considering Yolanda's position. No one else in school or the town wants anything to do with her. And Courtney was the only one that was relentless in reaching out to her to make that connection. And I think now that Yolanda has opened up and allowed her in, I think that that's the kind of bond that's going to be unbreakable when someone is just unrelenting and not giving up on, trying to be your friend and proving themselves. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. And yeah, maybe that will make them be even closer than maybe Courtney may become to other people that I'm sure they're going to end up recruiting. So, yeah.
Cool. So, no, I mean, this episode, it was good, just not like, it wasn't super in depth. There wasn't a lot of villain stuff. It was just kind of a fun, like I said, fun little origin story. And let's just, be a bit silly on this one. That's kind of the overall feeling.
Yeah, it was more of a popcorn episode to quote our friend Kevin here.
Yes. I wonder if he's watching Stargirl. I don't know if he is.
I have no idea. I feel like he tends to watch all these things, so maybe.
He watches everything, yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into the show.
All right. So we start with 3 months ago, and this was when they flash back and show us what Yolanda was before her entire life was ruined, which I was by far not expecting. I mean, she was the popular girl. She kind of like had it all, and then like there's this one text that totally just took it all away. Like I wasn't expecting that Cindy would be the one to send the text message. I actually was assuming it was completely Henry's fault, which I mean, it sort of was. He shouldn't have been like sharing the picture around so that Cindy could have been able to get the photo that easily. I mean, it seemed like super quick. She just like grabs his phone and then just has it. Like he shouldn't have had that up to begin with. But I thought he was the one that was maybe like trying to play her, but it wasn't that way. I mean, like he was the most popular kid. She was the most popular kid. They were, the quintessential high school power couple. And then, she got embarrassed and through whatever reason, that was leverage for them to break up because she assumed it was Henry and all of that. So it was very interesting. I wasn't expecting her backstory to be that. Not at all.
Well, it was confusing at first because you don't expect it. You're thinking, wait a second, nobody likes her. Why is she all of a sudden so popular and happy and everyone loves her? Now she's up on stage giving a speech to become, class president or whatever it was. I'm like, holy, she is brave if she thinks she's going to get any votes. So I was completely confused in the beginning until you realized this happened, a few months ago. Yeah.
It was definitely 3 months ago where she was the class president. She was the most popular girl in school. She was, dating I don't know if he's the high school quarterback or not, but, dating that boy, that everybody wants to date. And then a misplaced text message sent that all away.
Oh, man. Like this is how rough high school can be. I mean, that poor girl. One bad decision can ruin your life in a social environment like that. And we're sitting here watching it with Lisa's daughter, and this is such a valuable teaching moment for anybody with kids to watch this episode together, because you're teaching them that you have to be careful what you put out there, what you put online. Because this is a good example. This is an extreme example of how far it can go.
Yeah.
Now, what's really sad is that even her family is embarrassed of her, and they're treating her like she's some kind of demon born. And her family's awful. All their stupid beliefs and old ways of living, they won't change because of their beliefs, and they're not giving her a chance. 3 months later, and her family's still treating her like dirt.
I know.
It made me so upset with her family.
I was so mad. With the family. I started to like write a point in here and like go off on a tirade, but I was like, this is not going to be productive. needless to say, yes, this is a coming from a parent. I have a young child and a teenage child, but it is a very good teaching moment. If it were to happen, it would be devastating to everybody. I get it, but like alienating your daughter in her own house, which is supposed to be a safe place for her, in my opinion, is not how you should handle that.
No. And she was so brave to stand up to them in the living room and try to talk to them and
still nothing.
And her dad could not stop handling the TV remote. He just wanted her to get out of the way so he could change the channel or whatever he was doing. And then the mom just like, no, go to your room. You're like, it's unbelievable. Her little brother's okay because I think he was wanting to stand up for her.
I think, but, I mean, he did in a lot of ways. I thought the scene they were going to show was them talking, but then it ends up being her accepting the Wildcat costume or officially or whatever. Yeah. But yeah. I think the little brother is on her side.
Yep.
For sure.
He'll be her sidekick.
That would be kind of cool. I'd be okay
That'd
with
be kind of funny.
That'd be funny. Yeah.
So now going back to Cindy, that girl, and part of my words here, but she is one hell of a little bitch.
God, she is brutal.
Holy cow. Right, Gideon?
What a bitch.
Yeah. See?
Yes, we found a way to use it. Yes.
She's that is, I mean, there's being a mean girl. There's being nasty. There's being thinking you're popular and you're queen poop of the school, but she's gone way over the top, stepped way over the line with how she's treating people and stuff like that. It's She's bad.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. All right. Well, sorry, my notes probably feel jumpy, but I swear they go in like a chronological order, and I tried to pick out all of the main points. So the next bit I have is that, so this is kind of early on in the episode. You've got Courtney and Pat just kind of like discussing the next steps, because he's like, no more Stargirl, no more Stripe. You know, he wants to protect her. He wants to keep her safe. You know, he's the only one that knows everything about all of this. Her mom, her mom doesn't know, but he's still the stepdad. So like, that's kind of an awkward position for him. So she's all gung ho. She's like, I want to look for the Injustice Society. And he's like, no, I'm going to do that. I'm going to step in and do that. He's like, and then she's like, then what? He's like, oh, I'm going to tell the authorities. And she's like, well, what if they are the authorities? And I was like, yes, exactly. We've already seen many of them in prominent positions. So police, they could be. There was a senator. There's a principal. Maybe. I'm not sure about the principal, but we'll get to that.
Yeah. I mean, Courtney definitely read our minds there, because it seems like they have all the power positions in this city. So telling any authorities definitely is going to get back to them and get back to Icicle and whatever somehow. For sure. Because if they don't have everyone in a power position, they definitely got those people working for them. So that city is under their control. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. So, okay, speaking of Icicle, so he meets with someone in the Injustice Society lair. I was very confused by this whole scene, so maybe we can talk through it and you can shed a little bit of light if you happen to know like who he was. So to me, this guy was like a totally new wrinkle. He wears a costume, I think, but apparently he's a lizard. I didn't know that I caught his name properly, but I'm calling him Dr. Creepy Lizard Guy. I don't know if it is Dr. It sounded like he said Edo or something, but I don't really know if that was It sounded like Edo Japan, the restaurant that you can go to, the fast food in the mall food courts, Edo Japan. That's what I heard, but it's Dr. Ito, I-T-O. Okay. I had to look it up. Yeah, so I wasn't sure about him, and he's super creepy, super intense, and apparently he's building a machine. Is this like a time machine or like... Yeah, I have no idea. I don't really know. Yeah. It was very vague. Maybe a brainwashing machine. I have no idea. But I did look up Dr. Ito, and what I found out, without going into too many spoilers, because we didn't get a lot this episode, so I didn't even want to read too far ahead, but his name, Dr. Ito, is otherwise known as the Dragon King. And that's who it is that we saw. But the lizard face, I think, is new, because from all the pictures I could find of him, he just looked like a guy in the green hood. It's like the same type of hood he was wearing. I didn't see any lizard face underneath that, so I might be wrong there. I don't know. From the little bit that I did read, because I didn't want to know too much, and I didn't go too far into it. He was some high-ranking Japanese leader that won a bunch of battles for Japan during World War II, and then somehow he's still around. He's like, still a strong leader somehow up till today. And that's about as far as I got. I don't think he has superpowers of any kind. He's just highly influential and is in the right position to get people to do what he wants or something. Yeah, I'm not sure. So we'll see what the TV show does with him.
Interesting. Well, we'll definitely have to see what happens with that. So that was a new villain, I guess they introduced that I was not expecting at all. Apparently he has I don't know if this is like a vendetta against William Zarek or what, but he wanted his body, which is weird. So,
maybe to experiment on,
I guess. So I wasn't really sure what was going on with that. And then there's this other weird twist, speaking of the Zarek. So Denise is having car trouble. She shows up at Pat's garage, right? And
okay, this is this. I wasn't sure what scene you were referring to. Okay.
Yeah, sorry. So she's packed up some stuff. She's packed up some stuff of her son's, packed up her black cat, and she's about to leave town. She's like, "Oh, this is all I have left of my son. He wanted to be a magician just like his dad." And then the way she was talking, it definitely sounded like she knew who William was, and so did Joey. Like they knew he was the wizard, which was surprising to me. I was not expecting her or her son to know that. I thought Joey was just practicing magic because that's what he liked. And it was just coincidental that his dad is who he was.
Do you think Joey knew, though? I didn't really pick up on anything from what she was saying that Joey knew. She just seemed so distrusting and wanting to talk and give some information, but then not wanting to because she knows she's in trouble. It's going to cause her some trouble. So that's why I was like wavering. How much does she know? And then because of what happens to her, you figure, okay, well, she must know something because they're obviously shutting her up. But we'll get to that part. But I wasn't sure at this point in the episode, does she know? Why is she acting so strange with Pat? You could tell she wants to tell Pat.
Mm-hmm.
But she didn't.
I felt like she did, and I felt like she was wanting to warn him off and be like, this place isn't what you think it is.
She did say that, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, she definitely said that out loud. But the way that she was talking about, Joey just wanting to be just like his dad, he was into the magic and all of that. She stopped short, it sounded like, of spilling the beans of my husband was the wizard. You know what I mean? See, to me, it did.
I think William was a wizard because there was somebody else in the episode or last episode had said, you're still doing the same old magic show you've been doing for years or whatever. So I think William was a magician as a side gig anyway. And that's what I think Joey was looking up to. He wants to be a magician like his dad. I don't think he knows his dad's a bad guy. I think he's looking up to the magic part of it. That's what he's honed in on is, hey, my dad's a magician. It's so cool. I'm going to do that too.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know if we'll ever get more on that, but
we'll probably never know now because they're all gone.
I know. I don't know. It seemed to me like she might know, but that's just the feeling that I got.
Yeah.
All right. So I found this hilarious that Courtney ends up using Wikipedia to figure out how Wildcat suit works because it's literally the same thing that we do whenever we're trying to figure out who a superhero, or at least same thing that I do whenever I'm trying to figure out who a superhero is. Yeah. Some type of wiki. Wikipedia, DC Wiki, the usual spots.
I know. It's so funny. And why not? I mean, it gives them a quick lesson of the basics at least. They just have to now go try it out and practice.
Exactly.
But, I mean, it's just funny that the wiki, that's like bringing real world into the TV show, which we see a lot of TV shows doing now, that they're using stuff that we use as part of the show. Like when they're, when the DC shows are constantly talking, because we saw Cisco, he talks about Spider-Man and all the other Marvel characters quite a bit. And it's like, that's funny. They read Marvel comics on a DC show.
Yeah. I found it was funny.
Yeah, it's just fun.
Yeah, I love it when they do stuff like this. And like you said, bring in the real world. And I enjoyed everything they did with Yolanda's training session. I mean, basically they're just going through the Wikipedia page, trying to be like, okay, you can do this. Let's try it out. Okay, you can do this. Let's try it out. And so that was pretty fun until they get to a top of a building and she's just like, yeah, I don't know about this. Let's maybe not try this one just yet. So that was pretty funny. And then it was fun to see her and Courtney, I guess, try to go on a covert mission. I felt like it was very bumbling, very amateur, which it's supposed to be because they have literally no idea what they're doing.
Nope.
But it was pretty amusing, to say the least. So what did you feel about all of this? This was most of the episode, so.
Yeah, it totally was. Now, it's the suit. The suit is some kind of special super suit. I have no idea where they're getting these suits from, where the JSA got that one from, because, like, who's making these suits for them? Do they have a connection to Cisco or something? Like, it'd be so fun if Cisco makes it an appearance, but
that would be cool.
Earth 2 Cisco, I don't know. We'll see. But it's the super suit. It has nothing to do with the girls having the powers, because Courtney is all the staff. She has no abilities. And now we see Yolanda trying the cat suit, and suddenly she can survive long jumps. She can climb the walls. She's whatever, a little more acrobatic. She's stealthy. So let's theorize here about these suits. It looks to me like the heroes, at least, don't and won't have actual superpowers. It's all about the suits and the gadgets and those kind of things. No meta powers so far.
So far, yeah. No, I agree with you. So far, there are no actual powers. The only person who's had an actual power, well, I guess that I take that back. Brainwave has an actual power.
And Icicle, the villains.
Yeah, the villains all seem to have these like altering abilities. But so far, none of our heroes do. So
So I'll be interested to see what they do with that.
it will be. Yeah, it is interesting. But yeah, I did notice that it's all about the suit or the gadget that makes the hero. The person themselves, aside from being noble and a genuinely good person, isn't actually powerful.
Yeah. My favorite bit, though, was when she first put on the suit. And like when she put it on, it's just, it's big, it's baggy, gross, it stinks. But then she puts on the cowl and the suit just transformed. That effect that went from her shoulders all the way down to her toes of the suit warping and changing to fit her body, that was actually really, really cool.
It was cool. It was very cool.
Yeah, that was neat. That was really neat. So that was a cool effect. And I wonder, the original Wildcat was a dude. I don't think there's any connection at all between Yolanda and him, because she's a different family background than I believe the original Wildcat was. So I was just trying to wonder, because we know the staff got handed down to Courtney. So is there going to be similar connections like that to whoever ends up taking up all the other gadgets?
I don't know. I mean, a lot of people keep pointing out that we're assuming that Starman really is Courtney's dad, because all we're going off is her speculation. I mean, Pat's pretty adamant he's not.
Yeah, he has.
But I don't know. I don't know that we have that technically super confirmed. So there's a possibility she may not be a blood relation either, and that the staff just chose her. But it could be that she is. I don't know. We'll have to see where they go with that. I have no idea.
And that could be it. It could be that just each item is going to choose who it wants to be with. Or, I mean, we don't know with Yolanda. She put it on and it worked. Maybe that's how that suit works. You put the cowl on, it activates, and there you go.
And it works, yeah.
So anybody that wears it will have the same effect.
Yeah, that's true.
It was a cool suit. Yeah.
It was very cool. Okay, so they're on this mission, and they end up, because the whole point of it was they're supposed to steal the visitor log for Brainwave, to see like who's visiting him and see like who's signed in and stuff. And so what they've noticed, I think, is that Henry's the only one that ever signs in, but clearly there's visitors that are coming and going without being signed in, because their principal comes in. She plays the violin for Brainwave, which is very weird. She plays this like super like energetic like piece, and then she kind of looks at him like, did he hear that? Like, was there a change? And then packs up and leaves. Like, it was completely bizarre.
Totally. And what's that all about? Like, what is she trying to wake him up? Because there's a proven scientific theory about if you play classical music for patients that are in comas, even for babies when they're still in the womb, that you help their brains develop faster and you can have a smarter baby from them listening to classical music while they're in their womb. And it has to do with the mathematics, because music and the notes of songs are all on this mathematical scale. It has something to do with all of that
That's what they
works in your
say.
brain. Don't ask me because obviously never had any music played for me when I was a baby.
Oh, that's not true.
But so that's what I'm wondering here is, she's playing this violin for him. Maybe that it's something to trigger him. Maybe it's a song that he knows or he likes, and she's just trying to trigger him to wake up. But again, it puts the principal in a position now like, what part does she have to play in all of this?
Yeah, that was my thought exactly. That was my takeaway. I was like, this is so weird, which I believe is exactly what Yolanda mouths over to Courtney, like, what is happening? Why is she here?
Yeah, exactly.
It's very funny, very bizarre. There's another thing I just thought of in this whole mission. I don't think I necessarily wrote it down, but I want to bring it back up. Beth sees them from the very
she does.
from the
You're
very
right.
bottom, and I've said this a few times. They're just shouting each other's real names back and forth, and Courtney shouts Yolanda, blah blah blah, and Beth is looking straight up, going Yolanda. I was like, she knows now. I think she's probably the next person they're going to try to bring in if I had to place a guess, because I think all of the people at their little table are going to be one by one, and then probably Cameron. If I had to wager a guess, that's my guess.
And I'm guessing Beth to probably be the Felicity of the group.
Yeah. Oh, and she's so cute too. I like her. I'm excited to see what part she's going to play. But yeah, no, she definitely saw them and then realized who she was because Courtney's using her real name. I'm like, dummy, you have code names for a reason. Let's just use them. It's like her and Pat yelling Pat and Courtney all over the place. Courtney, blah, 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 come back here. I'm like, come on, use your code names, y'all.
So we'll have to see if Beth comes to them in the next episode. Hey, so.
I know.
It'll be interesting.
It'll be interesting to see.
But Beth did save them without even knowing it because the security guard was looking at the brick on the ground and he was just about to look up to see where the brick came from and they were dead to rights.
Yep.
And Beth distracted him.
She sure did. Oh, that poor girl. She is so lonely. Her parents are her best friends. That just
and they're always at work apparently, even at night.
I know. And she's always alone, poor girl. No wonder she brings her mom dinner every night. And her mom's just kind of like, okay, sweetie, like, go find some friends. I was like, okay, like, you suck.
Yeah.
Just poor girl. I feel bad for her. But she's going to have friends
She'll get
soon
her
enough.
redemption.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Last but not least.
Yeah, we're already at the end of the episode. This is a quick one tonight.
It was a quick one. Before we jump into literally the last scene of the night, was there anything we didn't touch on that you wanted to touch on? Anything you can think of?
Nothing that I can think of, really. Yeah, like we said at the start, this episode was not actually really deep.
Yeah, it
was just a really light, fun one. So I think we've whipped through it just as much as we can. Really.
And I know we've got a lot of feedback. Okay, so let's talk about the last scene, and then we'll jump into the rest of our show. So, definitely Mrs. Eric's crushed car and her cat wandering around the junkyard. What
Wait a
is
sec,
happening?
the cat was not crushed.
No, the cat wasn't crushed. The cat was wandering around the junkyard. Yeah.
The crushed car and cat.
Oh, sorry. My notes are slightly misleading.
We haven't gone across that line yet.
Cat's wandering around.
Yes.
So there's definitely a conspiracy in this town. 100%. I was like, oh, that's weird. So I guess the guy, what is his name? Zeke. Do you think he's in on it? What do you think what part he has to play?
The auto yard guy. Yeah, see, he's suspicious too. I'm wary of everybody. This whole show is making me suspicious of every single person that's not friendly with a smiley face. Like, what's he in on it now for? But I guess with Mrs. Zarek being in the car, I'm guessing Icicle just isn't leaving any traces of anything. So like, holy cow, don't cross him. But looking at the car, the way it was damaged on both sides, I would say the way it looked that possibly Grundy was let out for the night to go deal with the problem, smash up the car, crush her, and whatever. I have a feeling that was Grundy that did that. Ooh. Because if you look at the way the car, it looked like it was punched or kicked on either side, the way it was dented in. So
it looked odd. It almost looked like, I was like, that like they had, in some junkyards they have like the crushers or whatever. It almost looked like it had started to get compacted down, but it wasn't like small enough that would have worked to kill her. But yeah, like I kind of see what you're saying. Like the way it was dented seemed I think Grundy did it.
Either punched it or he picked it up and squeezed it, shook her out or whatever. I just think Grundy did that. That was his dirty work for the night, because why would they have introduced him when Icicle comes down, he says, "Hello, old friend." Yeah. He's probably going to get him to do stuff for him.
He's got to be doing something. I mean, surely they don't literally haven't left him locked up for 10 years? Yeah. He's got to play a purpose, right?
Yep.
Okay.
I think so. But yeah, so the Zarek's are gone. Like we've wiped out one family now from the show. It's crazy.
That is super crazy. So I'm hoping we at least get more answers as to definitively what happened to her. But yeah, that's pretty crazy. One villain family just gone. And at their own expense. It's not even like the JSA had anything to do with it.
They're not killing good guys.
No. Yeah. I mean, like Stargirl and Stripe have technically taken out Brainwave, even though he's not dead. He's just kind of in a coma for now. But Icicle took out his own demon.
Like, I know. You're helping them out. Like, what's going on here?
I know. So just have to see how that goes.
Crazy. It's fascinating. It's a completely different take on a superhero show. And this is why we're enjoying it so much. All these different little nuances that are so different.
It is different. I like it. It's refreshing in a lot of ways.
Well, I think in our fastest effort ever, we're already on to favorite scenes.
All right. Let's keep going.
Shape out an eagle!
All right. And to fill the gap, I actually have two. They're quick, so that's why I chose two. But I enjoyed this episode because it had that, like I said, that cuteness and that silliness of just two girls getting together. Their friendship is finally taking off. And they're just having fun together. So there was a lot of little fun moments in here. And it was really just the snarkiness of Yolanda. I think I'm going to end up really liking her. Mm-hmm. She's got a bit of snark to her. So the two scenes I took are from her with her snarkiness. So I'm just going to play them and then we can laugh at them.
Henry, it's late. Where's he going?
To see his dad, I'm sure.
Henry's dad is one of them.
What?
He's called Brainwave. He's a supervillain.
Actually, that makes sense.
It's just like that. And here's the second one.
That was Principal Bowen.
So does that mean she's a villain too? With the violin? Is that even a thing?
I don't know.
See? It's just fun little cute stuff. And I just love that she's calling it like it is, because we would be thinking the same thing.
Exactly. No, that's literally exactly what I was thinking. A villain with a violin? What?
Yeah.
So funny.
Cool. What did you pick out?
All right. I picked actually probably a similar scene. I really liked the scene where Yolanda gets to try on the Wildcat costume.
It smells like gym class.
It's authentic.
So, I have to wear this sad-ass cat suit while you're, what, Miss America?
Stargirl. Okay. Don't worry about the fit. I can tailor it like I did mine. Here, put on the cowl.
Oh my god, it smells worse than the suit.
Come on. It's one size fits all, apparently. That is so cool.
Just two girls having fun, see?
It was, yeah, because that was my exact thought. I was like, oh, that is so cool. I loved it.
There we go. All right, let's move into feedback. We did get a lot of feedback this week, so let's see what everybody has to say.
Twin powers, activate!
So we're going to start off with a whole bunch of Facebook posts because we had a lot of questions last week and everybody came to the rescue with answers for us. They did all the research so that we don't have to.
Yay.
So
I'm afraid to do too much research because I don't want to get spoiled.
Yeah, exactly. But they're just answering the things that we're curious about. So we're going to say a special thanks to Jeff Childs. He answered what the pink pen was because we had no idea.
We didn't.
So he had a clip here. It says, in the DC Comics, the Thunderbolt is a semi-transparent pink anthropomorphic thunderbolt-shaped magic genie named Wise, who can do about anything if it has a human guide to steer it. He currently resides in a magic pen and is only called into action when Jakeem Thunder clicks it.
Ah, interesting.
So I'm guessing we're probably going to run into some kid named Jakeem or someone with the last name Thunder. I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, we'll have to see how that one works out.
Well, there you go. So it's a genie. So think of Aladdin, and Robin Williams. It's a genie, and they got pretty much limitless magical abilities. So
Explains why it's giggling all the time.
yeah. And then Jeff Childs also responded to our question about Jordan McKent, Icicle. What is his background? What's his family speaking? And it says, and he said in here, according to the Stargirl wiki, Icicle is speaking Norwegian.
Nice. I think we also got a tweet from Ken from Chicago saying the same thing.
Oh, okay, cool.
So
Perfect.
shout out to both of them.
Twitter's in your wheelhouse. I'm the Facebook guy.
I know, yes, which is good. Perfect. Thank you both.
Cool. Now, our other friend, Jeff Gentry, X-Force 11, let us know where JSA headquarters is located because we were wondering where the heck they flew to when he went to show her the old memorial. And I had thought maybe all the way back to LA, but no, it is in Civic City, which happens to be in Pennsylvania, the home of the first JSA headquarters. It's a suburb of Philadelphia, basically.
Yeah, it is. It's like but it's also Nebraska is like literally in the dead center of the U.S. So whether you're flying to LA or you're flying to Pennsylvania, you're kind of going the same distance at that point. But still good to know.
But yeah. So there's that. And then he also posted about the Green Lantern because we were kind of making a joke about the original Green Lantern. So there's a little bit of news on him here. Unlike others who bear the name Green Lantern, Alan Scott, his power does not come from the Guardians of the Universe, but from the Starheart, a magical entity once imprisoned by the Guardians. The Starheart found its way to Earth, where in 1939, in the shape of a lantern, it saved Alan from a train wreck. At the lantern's mental direction, Alan fashioned a ring from it that allowed him to tap into Starheart's great power. Perhaps influenced subconsciously by the Starheart's history, Adam adopted the identity of Green Lantern. So that's the GSA member.
Very cool.
Version. Original Green Lantern. Yeah, which I didn't know. I didn't know anything about Alan Scott. I just never ever looked into it. So
no,
cool.
I'm more familiar with Hal Jordan's version of Green Lantern.
As are most of us, I think, because most of us shouldn't have been around back then yet.
Yeah, exactly.
Unless I don't know if we have any listeners that are older than we are. So I don't know.
I don't know. I don't think so.
Yeah.
Maybe like I don't really know. I'm not gonna speculate there.
And then Bianca, our friend, added on to that, saying that TV Line asked Stargirl creator showrunner Jeff Johns if the show had any plans for an actual Green Lantern sighting. At first, he politely deferred, "I don't want to talk about that," before affirming, "We have plans for the lamp and a storyline for subsequent episodes." As Johns told comicbook.com, people want to say, "Oh, look, an Easter egg of the pink pen or the Green Lantern," but those aren't Easter eggs. Those are pathways to new stories, and my hope is we get to continue to tell these stories with more seasons of the show. We'll see, but everything leads somewhere.
That's cool.
So there you go. They're possibly going to be, bringing in some characters.
Yeah, so those two may not be resolved this season. We'll have to see.
May not, because we're only getting 13 episodes. So
yeah. Interesting. Yeah. Okay, well, we'll have to see. More to come.
And now Carrie Johnson, who had told us about Matter Eater Lad, posted a link for us to find out who he is. And there's a little quip about him here. Matter Eater Lad, a.k.a. Tenzil Kem, was born on Bismoil, where inhabitants have the power to eat any form of matter. So I'm guessing Bismol is another planet.
Yeah.
Despite having an alcoholic father, Kem developed a pleasant attitude, sense of humor, and flair for showmanship. So the power to eat any form of matter. Now his superpowers, matter ingestion. Matter Eater Lad can eat any substance in any amount at super speed. He can consume an unlimited amount of matter in any form, solid, liquid, or gas. He once hollowed out a large meteor in a matter of minutes. Their power to eat hard objects like steel without having super strength or invulnerability stems from the Bismolian ability to produce a variety of digestive enzymes that act on specific substances, making them easier to chew and digest. That's like the craziest weird-ass superhero idea I've ever heard.
Yeah, but that would be hilarious if they introduced it and gave it to Mike.
Yeah, like, oh man, so funny. So funny. All right, but anyway, thank you guys. Thank you everybody for answering all our questions. Now we're caught up and feel a little more knowledgeable.
Yay, thank you.
So on to some actual feedback. We got some voicemails this week, and the first one is from X-Force 11.
Hello, legends, and welcome to the Golden Age. This is Jeff X-Force 11 leaving my feedback for Stargirl Episode 4, Wildcat. So this was interesting. We see the first member of our new Justice Society, Stargirl, reaching out and getting her first new recruit, Wildcat. So Wildcat has a suit, and it is very nanotech type driven. It adjusts and it has cool tech in it and it gives abilities. So it's kind of another spin on a superhero using technology to be a superhero. You have the training and other things that they have going on in real life adding into it, but it is very cool to see our new Wildcat learning how the suit works, testing things out, and getting thrown into some different situations. I also really enjoyed getting to see a fiddler. We got to see the fiddler in The Flash a season or so ago, and this is the female fiddler. And again, appearance in the background of the custodian. Keep an eye out on that custodian. Every episode, it seems like he's popping up, and
I missed him.
we're wondering why. But I enjoyed the episode, and thanks for doing the podcast. X-Force 11 out.
Oh, thanks for
Jeff.
pointing it out, Jeff. I totally missed the janitor, custodian, whatever his name is.
He was right in the middle of the hallway emptying a garbage can or something.
Toads missed it.
You must have looked away. Yeah, he was right there. So, okay. So thanks, Jeff, because the Fiddler, I had no idea there was a character called the Fiddler. So is that who she is? Maybe her power is the fiddle and she's trying to wake him up using her powers.
Well, do you remember on The Flash, I think this is what he was talking about a few seasons ago, where there was I think it was a girl who played a fiddle. And every time she played it, it had like sonic energy come out of it.
Yes, I do kind of remember that.
It was the season with the Thinker. She was one of the ones that he absorbed, I think. She was one of the
Flash's best season.
No, it wasn't. But that was a pretty cool power. So that's true. I had forgotten about that. So I'm glad he brought that back up.
Well, we'll have to see if that really is who she is, because, I mean, we didn't see any powers coming. She was just playing music, so we'll have to see.
We'll see, yeah.
Yeah, cool. All right, next up is Bianca.
Hey, Flash and Harley, it's Bianca. Here with some quick, hopefully, feedback for episode 4 of Stargirl. And I like that we got a tiny little flashback for Yolanda, our new Wildcat, to see what happened and why she's so alone and pretty much pushes everyone away. And I feel for the girl. She made a mistake, and I'm sure she's not, the first girl in the world to do this and send pictures to her boyfriend when she knew she probably shouldn't have. And of course, they got out and used by the main girl of the school, who pretty much hates everyone, and paid the price. So she's pretty much ostracized by the school, her parents, most of the community. It's just, it's a lot for a teenage girl to take, and I feel really bad for her. And yeah, that's being a teenager sucks, and I would not want to go back to that for anything. And also, you can kind of see Henry, her ex-boyfriend, is pretty much a jerk. He didn't say anything to anybody that, excuse me, that he didn't betray her, or that, it wasn't his fault. So lots of negative points for Henry Jr. there. We get to see Courtney in her room, looking at all of her stuff. And again, we see the pink pen. And I am so looking forward to the moment that the Thunderbolt reveals itself. But apparently it wasn't the time that Courtney clicked that pen so many times in a row. So now this powerful thing just sits in her little pen jar, just there for anybody to see. Thank God it just looks like a regular plain old pink pen. The new introduction to a character I had never heard of before and did a tiny smidge of looking up just to see what kind of character this was Dr. Ito. Apparently he goes also by the Dragon King. I was really impressed. I was getting kind of, for those of you from the 80s as kids will understand this, I was getting Cobra Commander vibes.
Yes!
When he would wear the
yes.
hood and not the mirrored face mask. Except,
blue.
This was a little different. He has lizard skin and lizard eyes under that hood. Very creepy, but also cool at the same time. I'm just curious if we're going to get to see under that hood at all. And he also mentioned the Shade. So those of you who were fans of Justice League and Justice League Unlimited are going to be somewhat familiar with the Shade. He was one of my favorite baddies in the cartoon. So I would love to see a flashback with him and find out how he betrayed the ISA. And one more thing. Dr. Ito, when he asked to have the dead body of the wizard, totally grossed me out. Ew, so nasty. And as far as Courtney's recruitment, I like that she picked Yolanda. She seems like the type that would really go all in on something like this. And with her boxing background, maybe a little on the nose there, but I think she has the heart for it. So I really enjoy that aspect of her. So we'll see how that goes. And by the end of the episode, she was all in. But I do have to say that when she went back to her family after initially turning Courtney down and, asking for her family's forgiveness to try and heal together, her parents just shut her down immediately, and that hurt. She's a teenage girl. She opened up her heart to her parents to try and heal, and they rejected it. Basically rejected her. It seems like they're too stuck in their ways to want to heal together as a family. And it's sad because the only support she seems to have is her younger brother. Not sure, much what he can do to help her, but maybe he might be able to help her something or with something down the road. But yeah, that was heartbreaking. I mean, pretty much her family's a disappointment. I mean, yeah, it probably would have been too cliche to have them forgive her right away, but still, I mean, ouch, that really hurt. So, yeah. One last thing before I give my rating. If you haven't been watching these episodes with the closed caption on, do it. You can occasionally get hints as to what mood or, emotion the staff might be feeling. I kid you not. It's in there. It's really crazy. But my episode rating for this episode is 8 budding new heroes. So I will talk to you guys later. Bye.
That's funny.
Awesome, Bianca. You know what? She made a good point all the way back in the beginning of that about the boyfriend, how he did not stand up for. He didn't come clean and say, "Hey, that wasn't me. Are you okay? I'm sorry." Like he just let it happen. Yeah. And let her get hurt. And so yeah, he is a jerk. I don't know what, I don't know why he wouldn't. I'm not sure if he was. It makes me wonder if he was trying to set that up, because why would you beg her to send a dirty picture only so that you can show your friends? Because that's what stupid teenage boys do. But it just makes me wonder how genuine he actually was while in the relationship with her. So
yeah, I mean, I think it raises a lot of questions and probably some red flags. I mean, like I said, he shouldn't have been showing it around. He shouldn't have had it up on his screen, showing his buddies so that she could just walk up and send it to herself, I guess. I don't know if that's exactly what happened, but I was like, yeah, no, he definitely, I mean, he wasn't the one that sent it to everybody. Like, he wasn't quite as bad as I thought that he was, but he didn't do himself any favors at all. So, I don't know.
No, not at all. So, yep, just a jerk like the rest of them.
Yeah.
And I agree with what Bianca said too about her family, just, too stuck in their ways. She used maybe a few nicer words than I did, but I'm totally there with the emotion behind that.
Oh, yeah.
Her family sucks, and get your heads out of your butts and your stupid, whatever.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on to Patty Spivot.
Hey, Flash and Harley. Episode 4 was also pretty great. I feel like there is a lot of setup happening. There's a lot going on. I'm going to make a couple predictions. I think one is kind of obvious, that Beth is going to be another recruit for Stargirl's little band of merry children. Mm-hmm. She saw them, and I'm sure she won't be able to keep her mouth shut and go talk to them about it. Hopefully she doesn't tell her parents, because I feel like her mom at least is maybe close to, if not involved in, something with the Injustice Society. By the way, the Injustice Society seems to be kind of, at first it sounds like a play against the Justice Society, but I feel like Icicle's sort of skewed version of doing good in the world, maybe. He wants to fight injustices in the world. So I thought that was kind of an interesting play. That's a bit of a side note. I think Yolanda was so brave to go talk to her family after her empowering day as Wildcat. Mm-hmm. And she has such a sad, tragic bummer of a story. Honestly, like, one mistake just brings her from top of the world to tragic and sad and struggling. And I hope that connecting with Stargirl brings her into a more empowered version of herself again, because she seems like a pretty good kid that just made a mistake. It wasn't super clear to me whether it was Henry or Cindy that released the photo of her. When they did the scenes, Henry looked sort of stunned, almost like, oh no. So I don't know if Cindy stole his phone and sent the picture, or if he was in cahoots with Cindy, or what exactly happened. I think Cindy's probably a good pick to become one of the kid villains if they're going to go that way.
Totally.
Henry and Cindy, maybe sort of a dynamic duo of evil in themselves. Curious to see what they do there. I think Pat is going to be really mad when he finds out that she is recruiting a bunch of kids. Like, he has really been clear about how dangerous this is to do, to create Stargirl and a new JSA. And I don't know, I feel like he's going to be kind of a papa bear about it. Like, he gets how dangerous this is. He's putting things together in his sort of adult perspective, and she's running around behind his back, not listening to him at all about how they need to move forward, if they move forward at all. And she just takes all the gadgets. And how many kids is she going to recruit? Like, I wasn't quite clear how many members of the JSA there were. So she's got a whole bunch of kids to bring in, and they don't know what they're doing. They don't have a clue how to use the tools. That pen is totally going to come back and bite her. I hope it doesn't blow up their house, because their house is so super cute. I don't know. It just seems like the bad guys have so much the upper hand right now. And this Dr. Ito is so creepy. What is he building? What does he want to do with the magician's body? Oh my goodness. And there's so much more to it than Stargirl has any clue about. I just feel like I I hope she starts to listen to Pat and views him as a team member, sidekick, whatever. Like, she's not the boss. And she's acting like this is just a big game. And there's so many more people involved. I mean, the magician's wife vanished, obviously to a bad end. There's so many more people involved. If a whole family can just disappear and nobody asks any questions about how 3 people can just mysteriously die in a week, and nobody seems to be questioning this. So, like, I think the whole town of Blue Valley is I don't know, there's a lot going on, and I wish the Pat maybe could have gotten more information out of the magician's wife. It's looking bad. I don't know. Anyways, lots of questions. I'm looking forward to the podcast, you guys, and we'll talk next week.
Like any good story, the villains have to basically have their moment in the sunshine. They need to be ahead, be in the lead for a time, for the heroes to struggle and be able to figure out a way to come back. That's the only way you tell a good hero story.
Yep. Completely.
And I mean, you think of the Star Wars trilogy, Empire Strikes Back, best movie of the trilogy, easily. But it's the one that the bad guys win. So you gotta look at these things. So and we're coming to the middle of the season. Yes, I think something more serious is going to happen. Somebody's going to get hurt. For Courtney to learn a lesson, she's going to have to get slapped in the face with it. Losing joy like that maybe isn't enough. I think something's going to happen to her, or she's going to be really close to Yolanda. Like, Yolanda's going to get hurt. I don't know. Something's coming, I think, for her to, before she realizes, okay, I got to take this more seriously. This is not just fun and games.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, she had so many good points. Thank you for your feedback. It was very good.
Yeah. Well, and then just to clear up, from what I could tell from the scene, Henry had the phone, then Cindy came and snatched it from him. Somehow within 5 seconds, she was able to send herself the photo, and then she later posted it publicly.
Yeah.
Is what I think.
She must have been eavesdropping or had some inkling of what they were looking at, because she had to know it was up and have a definitive plan to get it. Otherwise, I mean, she had it for 3 seconds. I mean, he grabbed it quick. So she had to be super fast.
See, there was a moment that I thought it was actually her texting Yolanda. I thought she had gotten his phone, or she hacked into it somehow, and she was sending the messages to be able to trick her to send a dirty picture. And because he almost seemed surprised that the picture came in. He almost had this look of like, what? Look at what she sent me. Oh my God. It almost seemed like it maybe wasn't him that even asked for it.
I don't know. I was assuming it was him, I mean, that's what boys do, ask for things like that. So I don't know.
What do you mean? I've never.
We're not going to get into this discussion on the podcast. Anyways, yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Patty. All right, one more feedback, and it's an email from Carrie. How about you take her away?
All right.
Or take him away.
I knew what you meant. What I really liked about Stargirl is that even in the midst of a number of mysteries, such as who is Janitor Justin, really? Or why is Blue Valley, Nebraska the hub of the Injustice Society activity? Or is Starman really Courtney's father? They have been really clear that when they do introduce a character, they clearly explain and define their history and motivations. That is certainly true with Yolanda. At first, she's just the quiet girl who is bullied at school. We then learn why, and that reality is difficult. Then we get the moment at the end of the episode after she has gotten a taste of positivity by being Wildcat. She opens up to her parents about her need for them to accept her again and treat her like a human being, and what happens? They reject her all over again. For her character, I hated that. As a narrative device, I loved it. Fair. We didn't get the usual Hollywood treatment where an impassioned plea melted her parents' hearts and they accepted her and had a big hug. That's true. We got ice-cold cruelty from her parents when they shut her down, and Yolanda's spirits were crushed. Sometimes life is terrible, and even the people who are supposed to support you the most are the people that hurt you the most. Dramatically...
Sometimes family sucks. Never mind life. Family can suck.
Family can suck. That is true. Dramatically, it was nice to see the usual forgiveness trope turned on its head. It gives Yolanda as a character more to deal with. and it clearly shows to the audience that the issues that this show deals with aren't going to be cleanly and neatly wrapped up. Life can be ugly, messy, tragic, happy, beautiful, and therapeutic, all at the same time. And it seems that the show is committed to showing all of that. Awesome. Straight observations. I know Courtney is on the hunt to recruit for the new JSA, but if she's not careful about how she does it and who she deals with, her secret will be about as secret as Barry Allen's is in The Flash. When Yolanda tries on the Wildcat suit and says, "It smells like gym class," I laugh every time. It's pretty funny.
Well, think about it, because the pictures of Wildcat, he's a fairly hefty, older male. And if he's out fighting crime in that thing and it's sweaty and gross. No, thank you. I'm not even trying that thing on. Ugh.
Gross. Okay. I had no idea that the Wildcat suit was some sort of meta suit that augmented powers. Cindy Berman I guess that's her name, is so evil, man. That actress makes William Zabka's Johnny Lawrence look like a pussycat. Also, at the end, we see yet again that the Injustice Society has no qualms at all about tying up loose ends, killing the wizard's wife.
That's the phrase I was trying to think of. Tying up loose ends. Yes, that's exactly what he did.
Yes. Welcome, Dr. Ito, aka Dragon King. His intro has me wondering, though, who is the shade that he mentioned? I got nothing over here. I called him Creepy Lizard Guy. It also makes me wonder what he means when he says, "One generation's ultimate sacrifice will protect the next." I give this episode 8 sweaty gym class Wildcat suits out of 10. I really like Yolanda's character and seeing her navigate her experiences. Can't wait to hear what you guys think about the next episode.
Yeah, I'm guessing he'll be around now for the next couple episodes, this Dragon King. But yeah, he just oozed eeriness to himself. And but I loved what Bianca said, that the Cobra Commander, God, that cracked me up. Yes, if it was blue, he was Cobra Commander through and through. It was, God, so funny. So funny.
Super funny.
Awesome, Carrie. And thank you, everybody, for your fantastic feedback, as always. And like we said, for answering all our questions. I'm sure we'll have some more for you guys that know the JSA a little bit more intimately than we do. So to send in feedback like these fine folks, just follow these instructions.
If you would like to be a part of the show, you can send in your feedback to tomorrowslegends@gmail.com. That's spelled with one R. You can also reach us on Twitter @tomorrowslegends, also with one R. We'd love you to join our Facebook page at facebook.com/groups/tomorrowslegends and become part of the community.
Look at that. We just hit the hour mark, I think.
Oh, wow. That's, I think, our fastest episode ever.
It would have been a lot shorter if not for all the fantastic feedback.
That's true. We got a lot of great feedback. So thank you for everybody for making our show.
Totally. So, I mean, that happens once in a while. That's totally fine. It was still a good episode. Just not a lot to get into. We're excited. I'm actually going to go watch episode 5 right after this. I got 2 girls here in this household eagerly waiting for me to get off the damn mic.
So you guys can go watch it. That's cool. I am going to watch it tomorrow. Yay.
Awesome. Cool. The only other thing I want to mention is I did release a Mandalore podcast like I told you guys I would. It was a super long one. I think we hit almost 2.5 hours last night just talking about all the new Star Wars news that came out lately and wrapping up the Gallery series. And me and David hadn't talked to each other for a month, so yeah, it was fun to just nerd out about Star Wars. So check that out if you guys are into Star Wars. That's all I got. I will talk to you guys in 2 days on Friday. We'll get back. So you got till Friday to send in your feedback. This is Friday. This is The Flash signing off.
And this is Harley Quinn. I'm out.
Tomorrow's Legends is not affiliated with CBS, Warner Brothers, or the CW. We're a fan-made podcast for entertainment purposes only and are part of the Cybercast Network.